Alisha Mopan, who's the Deputy Managing Director at Aster DM Healthcare, talking about the way forward for the company as well. Listen in to a bite of the conversation.
So we are quite happy with this milestone, actually. So I think in the last year, there have been a lot of requests from the investors and the analysts on how it is that we could actually reduce the pledge, because of course, when you see the 99% pledge, it is a significant amount. But it was very sort of needed at that hour, because it was largely done for a bridge loan to enable the GCC sale and the transaction at that point of time. So after the transaction was completed and we had the GCC sale proceeds come in, we had declared the special dividends, which actually ended up sort of repaying most of the loan, but there was a small stub that was remaining. So with this refinancing, and because of some technical issue, even though we had repaid a significant amount, we couldn't reduce the pledge. So we sort of managed to now create a much cleaner structure with this refinancing, where we've reduced the pledge significantly to 41%, exactly like you said. So quite happy with the outcome. It has significantly reduced our LTV as well. And we believe this actually further strengthens our commitment to be able to grow further. And as you're aware, we just sort of announced a few months ago the merger, the potential merger with QCIL as well. And there are commitments for larger bed expansions as well. So this will enable us to kind of further grow in India.
Right. So overall, Alisha, when will you be reducing the remaining with regards to the pledge, and what will be the source?
So we're thinking about, actually, the company has been doing good dividend payouts over the last year now, if you look at the track record. And with the sort of internal accruals that are coming through, we see a good potential for some of those, further reduction of the loan. And we will look at ways to further reduce the pledge over the next couple of years. So that's the goal.
Okay. So at least if you have to look at the next 12 to 24 months, are you saying that a 41% pledge is something that the company is going to be comfortable with?
So it's 41% pledged by the promoters, right?
Correct.
And we also think that the merger will definitely be something, once it's completed, will further sort of improve the financial positions for the family as well. So we will relook it in 12 months. We do think that there will be a further opportunity to optimize the capital structure there. So we are quite hopeful of that.
Okay. And Alisha, when you talk about the two-step merger with Quality Care India, what are the timelines you are looking at from now? Because clearly the transaction was expected to close in the third quarter of FY26. So are you on track, and where has it reached? If you could give us an update on that one.
Yeah, so Hiro, we are pretty much on track. I think we were expecting the CCI approvals to come through in sort of the next month or two, and I think that's a major milestone that we're waiting for. And we again continue to expect that it will conclude by end of this year or early next year.
Okay. And any specifics that you're looking at with regards to geographical areas of expansion or any other specialities?
So we have a significant bed capacity that's getting added within the commitments of expansion right now anyways. So we are looking at some of the inorganic opportunities maybe at a later stage, but right now we believe that with this merger, it's quite a large capacity that's coming together, and integration of these two units when after the approvals come through will be our biggest priority. And in terms of departments, there is a huge focus on oncology expansion for us as a group, as well as the transplant program and neurosciences.
All right. Overall, if you see in terms of your vision FY30, to double revenues by FY30 to almost 13,500 odd crores, margins at 25%, where current, if I look at FY24, you're sitting on 15%. So clearly, the kind of CAGR growth that you're expecting is 20 to 25% in terms of revenues. Do you think that is something which is sustainable?
So the base is going to be quite large now, Hiral. We have typically grown at a much higher CAGR of 35 to 40%. So we're looking at it in two ways. One, there's the internal growth through expansion and organic expansion that is coming through, which we expect to give us around 10 to 15% CAGR, right? And then the other sort of 2%, our hope is to sort of further optimize, like how do you reduce material cost? We expect sort of a lot of synergies to come in, which will again help us. There's obviously our growth that happens with inflation as well. So we do think 20-25% is definitely achievable with the growth prospects that India is showing.
Okay. And in the next 2 to 3 years, where do you see the bed capacity headed? Because with the merger, you have almost around 10,000 beds. What's in the pipeline after that?
So there's almost 4,000 beds combined capacity that will be added between the two entities. So that actually goes up to 14,000. And there are other assets also that we're looking at, other locations which are strategic that we are exploring right now. So we do think sort of 4,000 to 5,000 beds is definitely there in the pipeline. So it's a very dynamic process, right? So we're
right. And very lastly, Alisha, overall, we've spoken about Canada, we've spoken about, what's happening across, but what about occupancies? Because, some of the hospitals are giving you that kind of a bump up, some have been on the lower side, right? So where is the scope for occupancy to increase in future, and what's that blended number that you're watching out for?
So Hiral, a comfortable occupancy that we are aiming for is around 70%. That's, I think, ideal. We're sitting at sort of 63, 64%. So I think there is a focus on a sort of enhanced footfalls, enhanced MVT. So, and we've added beds as well, right? So some of the occupancy reduction has happened because we've gone ahead. We've added sort of 100 beds recently in our flagship in MedCity. But the 2-3 main units, right? You've got the Aster CMI in Bangalore. We've got Aster MedCity in Kochi. So focusing on the big units is really going to be critical and crucial for us. And that's what we are working on aggressively.
Okay, and the last question for investors, what are the kind of ROCs and ROEs that you are aiming to achieve?
So the great part is sort of when you look at the growth of our mature hospitals, so we are seeing a very sort of healthy 18% ROC for our mature hospitals, which is more than 3-4 years. Of course, that's, so our keen focus is to ensure that all of our hospitals comes within that range.